The fluorescent lights of the airport arrival hall hummed, a stark contrast to the crisp, silent air of Arlington National Cemetery I was so used to. My name is Sergeant Miller, and for the last few years, my life had been defined by the precise, unwavering steps I took as a tomb guard. Today, though, my uniform felt a little different. It wasn't the weight of my ceremonial gear, but the quiet presence of the flag case I carried. Inside, carefully folded, was the flag of a soldier. A good soldier. A friend. I was on my way to deliver it to his family, a family I'd never met, in a town I'd never visited. It was a journey I'd made many times before, a sacred duty. Usually, things went smoothly. People would see the uniform, the flag case, and offer a respectful nod, sometimes a quiet thank you. But today was different. As I approached the security checkpoint, a young TSA agent, barely out of high school it seemed, held up a hand. "Sir, you'll need to open that case." I stopped, my heart sinking a little. "Ma'am, this is a flag case. For a fallen soldier." My voice was calm, but inside, a knot was tightening. I'd never had to open it before. The flag, once folded, isn't meant to be unfurled again until it reaches the hands of the family. It's a symbol, a final, pristine tribute. She looked at me, then at the case. "I understand, sir, but all cases must be opened for inspection. It's protocol." Her tone was firm, unwavering, just like mine usually was. A small crowd was starting to gather. Whispers rippled through the line. "Is that a soldier? What's in the case?" I felt their eyes on me, a mixture of curiosity and a dawning understanding. I tried again, my voice a little softer, a little more earnest. "Please, ma'am, this is a very delicate item. It's deeply personal. There's nothing in here but a flag." She shook her head, her expression unchanging. "I'm sorry, sir. Rules are rules." My shoulders slumped a fraction. I could feel the heat rising in my face, a mix of frustration and a profound sense of disrespect for the flag I carried. To open it here, in the middle of a bustling airport, felt wrong. Like breaking a trust. Then, a voice from behind the counter cut through the air. "What's the hold-up, Sarah?" An older man, clearly a supervisor, walked over, his eyes scanning the scene. Sarah explained, "He won't open the flag case, Mr. Henderson." Mr. Henderson looked at me, then at the case, and his eyes softened. He was a veteran, I could tell. There was a knowing in his gaze. He took a deep breath. "Sergeant, what's in the case?" "The flag, sir. Of Corporal David Lee. Kia in Afghanistan." My voice was quiet, respectful. He nodded slowly, his gaze distant for a moment. He understood the weight of those words, the sacrifice they represented. He looked at Sarah. "Sarah, this is an honor guard. The flag has been presented to him for delivery. It's a closed ceremony. We don't open these." Sarah looked confused. "But protocol, Mr. Henderson." "Sometimes," he interrupted gently, "protocol takes a back seat to respect. Especially for those who've paid the ultimate price." He turned back to me, a small, sad smile on his face. "Sergeant, you may proceed. And thank you for your service." "And for his." A wave of relief washed over me, so strong it almost buckled my knees. I gave him a curt nod, a silent thank you that spoke volumes. But it wasn't over. As I began to walk through, a man from the now much larger crowd stepped forward. He was an older gentleman, his eyes red-rimmed. He didn't say a word, just reached out and gently touched the flag case as I passed. Then he saluted. A perfect, crisp salute. And then, one by one, others followed. A woman in a business suit, her eyes filled with tears, placed her hand over her heart. A young family, their children hushed and wide-eyed, stood silently. A teenager, who moments before had been engrossed in his phone, put it down and stood at attention. The airport, usually a cacophony of announcements, chatter, and hurried footsteps, fell silent. A profound, almost sacred quiet descended. All eyes were on me, on the flag case, on the memory of Corporal David Lee. It wasn't pity I saw, but respect. A deep, heartfelt gratitude. I walked through that silent airport, the only sound the soft click of my boots on the polished floor. It was a powerful, humbling moment. It reminded me that even in the busiest, most chaotic places, the echoes of sacrifice could still command silence and respect. When I finally reached the gate, the quiet followed me. People at the gate stood as I passed, their faces solemn. I thought of David, a goofy kid with a contagious laugh, who had always dreamed of serving. I thought of his family, waiting for this flag, for this final piece of him. And I knew, in that moment, that every step, every quiet gesture of respect, was for him. It was for all of them. And in that silence, I felt a connection, a shared understanding, that transcended any airport protocol.